What's up everyone, welcome to another video. Before we get this video started, if you are looking for a new program, there are two of them available on muscularstrength.com, a 12-week and an 8-week program. If you want to get your first month's membership free, make sure you use the link in my description box. And apart from that, enjoy this video. Now that is a post-workout meal. Some of you may not think it looks that appetizing, but to me, I'm going to go and enjoy this and maybe watch a little bit of YouTube. So I say post-workout meal, I actually was only doing cardio today, just under 15 minutes of HIIT. So that was my workout for the day. The only thing I'll do differently on this day is that I won't have, in terms of eating, is that I won't have my post-workout shake. I'll just have a banana, which I always have after a workout, and then instead of having a shake, I will put the protein powder I normally have into the yogurt that I have at night, and mix that up so it gives me a high protein dessert type snack before bed. It's 7 o'clock at night now, and I've had a pretty productive day. I got a lot of stuff done that I wanted to get done. I went to the gym and did my cardio, but I almost feel like I get to a point where I feel like, there's nothing else to do per se. I mean, there's always something you could be doing, realistically, but I feel like I've got to that point where it's like, I've done what I planned to do, so what do I do next? And if I whenever I sit down and watch a movie, or a couple of episodes of a TV show or something, that's all well and good, but I feel like if that's all I'm doing, if I'm not doing anything like on the computer, if I'm just purely watching it, I almost feel lazy. And I don't know am I the only one that feels that way? I feel like my mind just keeps going, especially at night. Like when I go to bed or before I'm about to go to bed, I always have these thoughts going on about what I could be doing, what I can do tomorrow. Yeah, just things like that. I don't know if that's random or not, but anyway, even though I'm bulking, I thought I would give a quick tip about, well, I guess it's kind of related to bulking and cutting. I figure this is a good way to come up with topics, is to find, questions that I see a lot and try and answer them. So one is, should I change my training routine? If I'm bulking and cutting, people seem to think that if they're going into a cut, that they're better off doing higher reps and a lot more training than they would if they were bulking, whereas in my opinion you're better off doing more training. Well, I think you should train pretty much the same whether you're bulking or cutting, because at the end of the day, when you're cutting, you're trying to lose fat, so the only thing you should do is add in more cardio and possibly some circuit training along with a change in diet. But apart from that, like the sets and the reps and everything that you do should remain pretty much the same, particularly around your compound movements. So, for your bench press, your squat and your deadlift, when you're bulking up, obviously you're trying to get stronger at those, and when you're cutting, you're not going to necessarily get stronger, but you should still be training heavy at them, because when you're cutting, you need to give your muscles a reason to stick around, and by training heavy, that's what's going to help them stick around the most, if that makes sense. I mean, obviously just training in general will, but putting them under doing something that's max effort is really going to help the most, along with obviously potentially eating a little bit more protein. But like I say, in terms of your sets and your reps, your exercises and everything like that, don't think that because you're cutting you need to do a whole lot more volume. If anything, you need to do more volume while you're bulking to make the most of those extra calories, to build the most amount of muscle that you can. So I got a comment the other day on one of my videos about how many carbs I was having, and I was just thinking about it, because I think the video I had 537 grams of carbs that day, and that is a lot of carbs. And when I think back, I used to think that 300 grams was a lot, and pretty much as I've been bulking, it's kind of progressed to a point where there's like no upper limit on what I think is too much. And well, obviously there is, but you know, I'm not even sure where that is anymore, because at first it was 300 grams is so much, and then it changed to me thinking 400 grams is so much, and then I just keep working up and hitting each of these numbers that I used to think was so much. And I know that just because I, you know, eat more food doesn't necessarily mean I will put on, you know, just more muscle, and in fact that's probably not going to be the case. The more food I eat, yeah, I might get a little bit more muscle, but I'm also probably more than likely going to grab a little bit more, or put on a little bit more fat. So with that being said, I've decided that I'm probably going to work my way up to about 4,000 calories, definitely by the end of the year, and possibly within the next month, so by the time we start December, because it's nearly the start of November. So at the moment I'm about 250 short of that. So protein is really fine and fat is really fine. Carbs could potentially, eventually, get up to around 600 grams. They're definitely, I think, at the moment I will probably bump them up to 550 next week. I'm going to see what my weigh-in does, but I'll probably bump those up to 550. That'll give me about an extra 50 calories, which will put me at about 3,800 calories per day. And then I have to decide, am I going to get those extra 200 calories with another 50 grams of carbs, or am I going to up the fats a little bit and up the protein a little bit? Like I say, the protein is well, you know, above what it needs to be, and the fat is really about where I want it to be. And like I was just saying, there's sort of almost no upper limit on carbs, so would I go to 600? Maybe, I haven't decided yet, but I'm probably going to go to 4,000 calories eventually. Anyway, that's the update. I'll see you all tomorrow. Chest workout commentary today. Not much footage here, so we're going to whip through it. So my two top sets for my bench press were 77.5 kilos, 170 pounds for 3 reps, and so we're getting pretty close to where I was at a while ago. My max was 80 kilos for one set of 3 reps, so doing 2 sets here was pretty good, although on the second set you will see that on the last rep coming up right about now, I put my the bar went uneven. My right arm went up a lot quicker than my left arm. There you see it's hard to tell from the side, but it was uneven. Then doing some skull crushes here, and then some cable flies afterwards. But I am feeling like my bench press is getting back on track. We'll be testing my 1 rep again next week. So I hope you guys are enjoying the commentaries. I know I've been doing a lot of them lately. It's pretty much, you know, the best way to cover my workouts, you know, tell you guys what I'm doing, what's going on, and maybe give a few tips if I can. You can see there on the skull crusher, once I had burnt out on doing the actual skull crusher, just take the weight and do some close grip bench press for as many reps as I can. And then cable flies here, and now you'll see there was a quick cut there on my cable flies, and that's because I dropped the weight. And that's actually one thing I've seen a lot recently that I want to just quickly say, is that instead of using a whole bunch of bad form for your last few reps of an exercise, just drop the weight and do like 6 to 8 reps, because I feel like you're better off doing the proper, you know, movement instead of doing a whole bunch of momentum reps at the end. Alright, so I'm just here at the computer about to edit the video that you're watching right now, and I remember the clip I had yesterday talking about going up to 4,000 calories, and I've been thinking about it today, and I'm just not sure yet whether I will do it. I mean, I don't know, what do you guys think? Should I, you know, go up to 4,000 calories? Obviously I could, you know, potentially put on more fat, which I probably will. I could counter that with cardio, but I'm just not sure. I haven't made a final decision yet, but if you think I should go up to 4,000 calories on the daily, make sure you leave a like down below. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.